Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So we got an example here that I want to talk about. Apparently, this is a woman that was doing corn at some point, right? And so what this is saying is she is begging all of the corn sites to delete all of her videos, this, that, and the third, talking about she was 19, she was broke, she was groomed. I want every video gone so my son never sees his mom like that. She didn't care whose son saw her like that. The reason that I wanted to talk about this story isn't because of the woman herself, because I don't know nothing about her, but the promiscuity. These women forget that the internet is forever. When you have things uploaded, including but not limited to sexual things, whether you was getting paid for that or not, whether you was a porn star or not, whether you was just promiscuous, whatever the case may be, all of this stuff is forever. You don't get to get out of that lifestyle and then have your footprint erased. What I'm hearing is no accountability. Now she was young and broke and groomed. Girl, who problem was that? Because I know a lot of 19-year-old girls that's broke and trying to figure things out, and they don't do porn. Okay? It is a lot of 19-year-old young ladies out here that might be struggling, that might be trying to do this, that, and the third, trying to go to school or trying to get a job or trying to make it on their own or whatever the case may be. And they are not out here sucking D on camera and trying to be a porn star. And if you choose that lifestyle, I'm going to need you to be 10 toes down, because you did it for however long you did it. For however long you was an adult actress, that is how long you did it. Because even if you was in a certain kind of state in the beginning, was you still in that state 5 years from then or however long it was? And then so the day that you decided to get out and try to find you and try to live a regular life, try to find you a regular man, and now that you're a mother, now you don't want your son to be exposed to women like you. You don't want your son to grow up and understand that his mama was a whole hoe out here for public consumption. You all over Cornhub, okay? And any other website that it'll be by the time he old enough to look at a website. Okay? That stuff is forever. Once it hit them servers, and once it them whatever little corn sites you on or whatever, them sites don't have no obligation to remove those videos, especially if they was voluntarily put up there and like they're up there with your permission. Okay? You're not saying, oh, some private videos of mine got slipped out and put on here and please take them down. That's a different story. No, ma'am, you was getting paid. You was getting paid to smut on camera. So you a smut. Just because you had a baby and had a son, that don't remove your smut history. You a smut. His mama a smut, sad to say. You brought him into this world to deal with you and your past. Now you're thinking about how your actions reflect upon someone else, but you wasn't thinking about that beforehand. You wasn't thinking about that when you was getting smutted on camera and then that paycheck hit. Now your son too precious to see it. No, he not. No, he not. Unfortunately, he not. Okay. You got smutted on camera. You benefited from it. Whether you enjoyed it or not. Hoes don't usually like they work, but you benefited from it. They like the money that come with it. That's what they like. So you benefited from it. You got your money, and then you said, peace out. I don't do it no more, because you age out as a hoe. You age out from these corn movies. Okay, you get to a point where either you get tired or people just don't want to see you no more. They don't want to see you. A new hot thing come up, and suddenly you're old news. So the whole game always end early. Okay, you can't never overstay your welcome in the whole game. Okay. So now you exited and you think that the world is supposed to forget. No, absolutely not. Nobody's forgetting. And your son is going to have to deal with it in some capacity or another, that his mother was a public smut. You wasn't even a private smut. You was a smut for pay. So now when they get old enough to sneak onto porn sites and look at them, now his friends gonna see you. He's going to see you. Even if he's not looking for you, he gonna see you. And he gonna be like, is that my mama? You don't know what kind of trauma that's going to put, because children should never see their parents in a sexual way or in a sexual situation like that. And that's explicit. So to see, well, you don't think about what that little boy gonna go through if he ever was to run into that. Because was you thinking about what your family would have thought or anybody else while you was benefiting from this? I doubt it. Now you want to kind of scrub your image. You don't get to do it. You don't get to scrub it. Nope, it's there. It's always there. You'll always be a hoe. Furthermore, before we get out of here, this is actually how a lot of so-called white girls, this is how they try to clean their image up. Because what they'll do is they'll be smuts, and then, especially if it ain't no video evidence, they'll cover that up and act like they ain't never been hoeing when they be the biggest hoes. The biggest hoes. Especially in college, and it wasn't no video evidence. They didn't like do it for pay. They didn't do it like as a professional thing. Oh, they be trying to cover that up. Okay, they be trying to cover that up. Like, please don't let that smut stuff come out. They be trying to clean their image up and everything. Too late. You've been smutted out. You benefited while you was doing it. You was cool with it when them checks was hitting. Now you not cool with it, and that's too bad, so sad. You a hoe forever. This is the danger of being a hoe. This is the danger of being a sex worker and making those decisions when you are young. Because once you get older and you decide you no longer want to do these things, or you come to a different place in your life where you feel like this is crazy and I'm going to get out of this and I'm not going to do this anymore, that does not mean that your past is not still your past. And women like to try to erase the past. You cannot erase the past. If you want to change, you can go ahead and change. I'm not against you changing, but that does not change the past. You would have did better just shutting up and going to sit down like the rest of the hoes do. When they be done doing they porn star profession, when they be done with that, they fade into the background, never to be seen or heard again. And they do their best to try to find somebody. They usually, if they get married, they marry men who are no longer in the industry, so that the judgment is not there. And carry on. They do the best they can. Go sit down and shut up some dang on where. Now it's everybody else's fault that you was a hoe. You was 19 and broken. You was groomed. Groomed implies that there was, she talking about men, was around to coerce her and coax her into that lifestyle. Girl, I don't want to hear that. I really don't want to hear it. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host of The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.